Hey there, Alex Kidman here, and this is my quick video review of the Anker MagGo Powerbank 10K. There are a lot of these magnetic charging packs out there now, and the Anker MagGo's big selling point is that it's Qi2 compliant. So that means it meets the new Qi2 standard for magnetic attachment and up to 15 watts of wireless charging. This particular model has a couple of other interesting features to it as well, though. So in design terms, obviously, it looks like most other little portable battery packs. On the side here, you have a power button and an LED which shows power status. So when something is connected, which I'll show in a second, it shows the current charging status. Round the back, you have a stand for vertical mounting. And then on the other side, you've got USB-C input and output. Now, that's a nice feature to have because it means that this can actually charge other devices that are not wirelessly connected. But I should actually go and grab a device to connect to it. Oh, look, here's one. And in fact, here's one of the only ones that is currently Qi2. This is one of the challenges of Qi2, and I've talked about this in some of my other videos. Currently, the only devices that you can get that are Qi2 certified are iPhones. Basically, iPhone 12 or above. The mini versions charge slightly slower than the full-size versions. But whilst Android makers could make Qi2 phones, the certification is out there, as yet, at the time of recording this, there just aren't any. So it's basically an iPhone-only land, which makes that distinction between Qi2 and MagSafe kind of moot right now. But indeed, plugged in, we can see that it is indeed charging, and it's given me some details on that charging and on the charge rate. On the charging front, this performs pretty much exactly as you'd expect. So for wireless charging, as I'm doing here, you'll get 15 watts of power out of it. If you do connect through USB-C, that jumps up to 27 watts, so a fair bit faster. Nice to have that flexibility in play. Now, I should point out the nature of wireless power transmission is necessarily lossy. You're not going to get the full 10K out of it this way. Anker's estimates, and they do tally with my own tests, suggest that you'll get about 1.8 charges, not quite a full 2 charges for something like a 15 Pro, which is what it's connected to here. And so that's 65-ish% efficient in terms of charging. You'll, of course, get slightly better from USB-C. Anker do provide a USB-C cable in the box, but it's a pretty small little effort. It works though, it's perfectly functional. Of course, any other USB-C cable will do, but you do not get a charger in the box. There are a couple of interesting fit issues with this particular battery with some iPhones though. So for example, while standby mode will work, it will operate, you end up in this T-shape orientation, which is not quite as stable, slightly higher center of gravity, might not suit everyone's style. There's a slightly bigger challenge, though, if you are using anything that isn't a Plus or a Pro Max phone, and that's simply that this is a physically big device. Anker do have smaller devices, I should point out, but this is a physically big device, so if you put it on the back of a Plus or a Pro Max phone, it fits pretty well. If you've got it on the back of one of the smaller iPhones, though, yeah, it juts out at the bottom. Now, this isn't a critical problem. This doesn't stop it working. It's just aesthetically slightly less pleasing than it might otherwise be. I can imagine it would absolutely dwarf one of the mini iPhones, but I don't have one of those to test to hand. So is it worth buying? Look, I think it's a nice battery. It does what it's meant to do quite well. Right now, look, there aren't Qi2 Android phones out there, so that's a bit of a moot point. It's a pretty competitive field. At $149.95, it is on the higher end for a battery pack. And obviously, if you just wanted that 10,000 milliamp hour capacity, you can get a ton of other cheaper batteries, including ones from Anker, to fill that need. You'd need and want to have that wireless charging capability to hand for this to make an awful lot of sense for you. Anyway, that's my take on the Anker MagGo 10K Powerbank. What do you think? Got any questions? Hit me up in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.